Hello, welcome to today's lesson. So in today's lesson, we're going to continue with our discussion on muscles by looking at the control of the cardiac cycle. So to start with, let us remind ourselves of heart structure. So if we can remember, we mentioned earlier on that the heart is made of four chambers. That is the top chambers, the right and left atria, and the bottom chambers, which are the right and left ventricle. In addition, the heart is separated into a left and right side by a layer of muscles, which is referred to as a septum. Then it is also made of a special kind of muscle, which is the cardiac muscle. So the cardiac muscle has got two main properties when it comes to control of the cardiac cycle. That is, it is myogenic, which means that it is self-stimulating, and it also shows intrinsic rhythmicity, which means that the rhythm from its contraction comes from within the muscle itself. So in definition, we'll define the cardiac cycle as being the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of cardiac muscle. So for the control of the cardiac cycle, we're looking at how this rhythmic contraction and relaxation is brought about. So I've already stated earlier on that the cardiac muscle is self-stimulating. So the stimulation for the cardiac muscle comes from a region within the right atrium that is referred to as the sinoatrial node. So within this region, we have an excitation which leads to depolarization of the atria. So as this depolarization occurs, the atria begin to contract in what is known as atrial systole. The excitation is then passed on to another region, which is referred to as the atrioventricular node, just before the ventricles. So as this excitation tries to build up in the atrioventricular node, the atria are going to start moving into a period of relaxation. So there's a little bit of a lapse between the contraction of the atria and before this excitation can move from the atrioventricular node to other regions like the bundle of His. So as this excitation is building up in the atrioventricular node, we're stating that it allows for the atria to enter into a state of relaxation. So the excitation then passes from the atrioventricular node to the bundle of His. So as the excitation builds up in the bundle of His, it then spreads out to two regions, that is the Purkinje fibers going to each side of the ventricles. So as the excitation is reaching the Purkinje fibers, it allows for the ventricles to now begin contracting in what is referred to as ventricular systole. So after this excitation, the excitation suddenly goes down by a repolarization of all these regions in what is referred to as diastole, where the heart is simply relaxing and allowing for blood to actually flow in. So that is basically how the cardiac cycle is controlled. See you next time.